There is a secret that has been whispered beneath cathedral domes and city sirens, a force so quiet it could be mistaken for breath, and so vast it can rearrange stars. It does not shout, it hums. It does not bargain, it obeys. Tonight, you will not merely hear about it, you will feel it moving the furniture inside your mind. And if you stay with me until the end, a door you've always sensed but never found will open, and the life waiting behind it will call you by your true name. Close your eyes, only if you can, and picture a midnight train drifting through a sleeping city. Every window lit, the rails spark, the streets don't know the train is passing. But in the morning the city will be different, subtly at first, then unmistakably. That train is your thought. The sleeping city is your subconscious. And everything you repeatedly send through those tracks becomes the architecture of your days. You don't have to be loud to change your life. You only have to be consistent. Joseph Murphy called it the sleeping giant, the inner builder, the faithful mechanism that takes whatever blueprint you hand it and constructs a reality to match. The wonder is not that it works. The wonder is that we keep handing it plans for houses we do not want to live in. One anxious monologue turns into a room with no windows. One self-betrayal becomes a hallway that leads nowhere. But the builder is innocent. It does not moralize, it only builds. So tonight, we begin again. Not as beggars, but as architects. The first act is simple. Identify the untrue sentence you've been repeating to yourself and replace it with a sentence that belongs to the person you are becoming. No poetry needed, no grand ceremony. Something spare and potent like a well-made key. I am guided. I am chosen by my future. Everything I touch, I tend, and what I tend grows. Whisper it into the soft soil of the moments before sleep. Whisper it upon waking when the mind is still tender and unguarded. In those thresholds, the builder is listening most closely. In the modern world, distraction stands at every corner like a carnival barker promising thrills for the price of your attention. But notice how every thrill fades and leaves you with the same life. That is the hint. The deeper movement is inward. Not withdrawal, but command. Not escapism, but creation. Murphy said the subconscious does not argue, it accepts. Imagine speaking to a trusted friend who never contradicts you, never says, "Are you sure?" Whatever you impress with feeling, it takes literally. If you insist you are unlucky, the faithful friend begins arranging proofs on your behalf. If you insist that doors open for you, that you are directed to the right people at the right time for the right reasons, the same friend goes to work like dawn rolling through a valley. But you must become precise, because vagueness breeds delay. What does abundance feel like in your chest? What color is serenity on the inside of your eyelids? Where exactly does courage sit in your body? The subconscious speaks image, rhythm, and repetition. Show it a clear picture. Hum it a steady song. Repeat it until your bones believe. The world you can touch will bend to match. And when your senses accuse you, when the bank balance glares, when the diagnosis is ink on a page, when the relationship is ash, this is where the old you yielded. This is where the new you persists. Faith is not denial of facts, it is authority over facts. Denial says, this isn't happening. Authority says, this is happening, and it is still not the final say. Authority alters the pattern. It stands like a conductor before a restless orchestra and raises one hand, and violins that were chaos become a theme. There is a craft to this, not superstition, not optimism with glitter on it. Craft. Consider your evening practice a studio. 10 minutes of drowsy visualization, because the state akin to sleep is a bridge. Senses dim, imagination bright. Sit with a single outcome and make it sensual. The weight of the key in your palm as you open the door to your new apartment. The click of the seatbelt in the car you once only dreamed about. The way your name sounds when someone who loves you says it without fear. This is not fantasizing. This is internal carpentry. You are carving grooves, and the world will pour itself along those grooves the way rain finds a riverbed. And now, before we go further, before we open the next chamber, I have an invitation. If your chest is already warm and your mind is already racing in the best possible way, if you are ready to test this in your own life and not just toy with the idea, join the 21-day Dream Life Challenge, linked in the description and pinned comment. 21 days to plant with precision, water with persistence, and harvest with calm. It is not magic, it is method. And I want your before and after to be a testimony, not a theory. Back to the studio. Seed, soil, season. You plant by conscious assumption. This is mine. You protect the seed by refusing to dig it up with worry. You keep the soil fertile with gratitude, which is not performance, but perception. The ability to recognize the quiet good that is already here and multiply it with attention. And then you honor the season. Neither rush nor resignation. There is a cadence to creation. What arrives quickly comes to prove that you can believe. What arrives slowly comes to prove that you can continue to believe. Your senses will try to hire you as a witness for the prosecution of your own destiny. Decline the job politely. Become instead the advocate of your emerging life. In the inner courtroom, the judge is your feeling, not your words, the feeling behind them. Speak your new sentence until it changes your temperature. Speak until the air in the room tilts toward you. The moment you feel the shift, you have reached the point of acceptance. The order has been entered on the record. The universe begins its silent logistics. You will notice a strange tenderness entering your days. People will appear with sentences that land in the exact place you needed them. A book will open to the right paragraph as if it has been waiting. Traffic will delay you just long enough to place you at the crossing where you meet the opportunity. Do not call these coincidences. Call them confirmations. Collect them like seashells and keep them where you can see them. You are building a museum of evidence that your inner work works. And yet, there is something most people miss, and I want you to be one who does not. It is possible to speak the right words, to paint the right images, and still sabotage the harvest with a single, subtle habit. The habit is self-resentment. The unspoken belief that you have to punish yourself before you can receive. You delay what would come naturally because you secretly believe you need to work it off. That belief is a thief in a borrowed uniform. Evict it. Here is the antidote. Decide that your growth is an act of service. The happier you are, the more useful you become. The more resourced you are, the more generous you can be. The more peaceful you feel, the more peace you export. Prosperity then is not vanity, it is capacity. Let this reframing loosen the knot in your chest. Let good things reach you without apology. You are not stealing from anyone. You are joining the river that waters the fields of others simply by overflowing. But there is a deeper layer still. a code hidden beneath the words and pictures. The reason some people do the work and still feel stalled. It is not about effort, it is about allegiance. You are about to discover which silent allegiance has been writing your story when you thought you were holding the pen, and how to change the author in a single vow. Think of your mind as a walled city. On the highest tower flies a flag that tells strangers who rules within. You may speak beautiful affirmations at the gate, but if the flag says, "I belong to fear," the city will behave according to that banner. Allegiance is declared not by occasional enthusiasm, but by the atmosphere you return to when no one is watching. That atmosphere is made of the assumptions you protect. Murphy taught that impressions become expressions. Before an experience appears, an allegiance has already been chosen. Do you belong to delay? To doubt? To the story that in this family we always struggle? Or people like me don't get breaks? Or love is for others? Those are not facts, those are flags. Lower them tonight. In their place, raise a standard bearing the crest of your future. Calm authority, quiet expectancy, sacred audacity. Let that flag snap in the inner wind. Then, without ceremony, begin living as a citizen of that country now. Citizenship is 1,000 small choices. You choose the sentence you repeat while washing dishes. You choose the posture you hold in hallways. Shoulders square, gaze level, the body saying what the soul knows. You choose what you do after a setback, whether you run internal autopsies until the story explodes, or whether you stand amid the mess and say, "Correction received, course adjusted, proceed." You choose the caliber of your questions, not "what's wrong with me?" but "what does this make possible?" The subconscious takes your questions as assignments. Ask like an inventor, not a victim. There is a furnace in the center of the city. Every image you create becomes fuel. Every fear becomes smoke. Bring the heavy logs of old shame and burn them with a clean flame. Name what you did not know then that you know now. Claim the harvest from your hurt. Patience learned, boundaries erected, intuition sharpened. Pain, purified by meaning, becomes heat without ash. Feed that heat into the engines of your discipline. You are not starting over. You are returning with fire. Now craft your ritual. Simple, repeatable, beautiful. Morning, 3 breaths, each one a paragraph. Inhale, I am guided. Hold, I obey the guidance. Exhale, I celebrate the results. Evening, 10 minutes in the borderland between wake and dream. Enter your scene and edit until the room inside you feels expensive. Do not look for the thing. Become the person who owns it. Subconscious law is not get to have, but be to become. When being changes, having follows, like shadow. People will ask, isn't this just pretending? Pretending is brittle, a performance for witnesses. Assumption is supple, an inward covenant. Pretending asks the world to clap. Assumption asks the soul to agree. Pretending breeds panic because it depends on approval. Assumption breeds peace because it depends on law. You are not conning reality. You are contacting it at the level where it is still liquid, still willing to become what you pour it into. There is a tender heroism in staying steady when sight is slow to catch up. Imagine an astronomer tracking a new planet by its gravitational pull before anyone has seen it. The data is in her notebooks. Colleagues laugh. She keeps watching the wobble. She knows something unseen is tugging the stars. Your wobble is the cluster of small alignments gathering around you, the email that accidentally reached you, the conversation that bent in your favor, the old impulse that quietly died. The planet exists. Keep charting. But remember this, there is no such thing as an idle word in your workshop. Sarcasm carries voltage. Self-deprecation leaves dents. Gossip burns insulation. You can be kind without being naive, strong without being sharp. Speak like a person who knows the walls are listening, because they are. Your home is a recording studio for your future. Tune it. The master key is surrender, not collapse, not passivity, but the fierce surrender of a pilot to the physics that keep a plane in the sky. A pilot does not fight lift, she allies with it. She does not argue with gravity, she designs with it in mind. Surrender is creative alignment with the laws that love you. Murphy taught that the subconscious is most impressed by feeling and repetition. Surrender adds the crown, consent. Not my panic, but my pattern. Not my flinch, but my faith. You do not abdicate your desire, you entrust it. You say, what belongs to me is already mine in the invisible. Make me ready to receive it without breaking. Readiness is a kind of holiness, wholeness made practical. This is the night practice, the vigil of the Maker. Sit in the dark with one candle, literal or imagined. Gather your loose ends like threads and wind them on a single spindle. I am. Not I will be. Not I hope to be. I am. Then finish the sentence with whatever your future has been trying to call you for years. I am a healing presence. I am a generational restorer. I am a brilliant builder of value. I am loved in ways that make me brave. Say it until the words no longer feel like visitors, but like house keys warm from your pocket. When the candle gutters, you will know the agreement has been signed. From here, you will notice you crave simpler food, simpler schedules, simpler companions. This is not asceticism, it is accuracy. Clutter burns oxygen required by miracles. Make space, not because minimalism is holy, but because room is hospitable. If you want a symphony to visit, sweep the stage. Opportunities will approach disguised as chores. Carry them gladly. Say yes to small requests that carry your new pattern. A neighbor asks for your opinion. Make it useful. A stranger comments on your calm. Smile as if you were expecting the compliment. You were. The subconscious loves congruence. Every small congruence is a bead. Soon you will have a necklace, and people will ask where you got it. Tell them the truth. You grew it. Do not measure by applause. Applause is weather. Measure by resonance. The hum in your chest when your outer choices match your inner flag. That hum is guidance. Follow it even when the room prefers a different song. The room changes later. You are not rebellious. You are responsible. You are guarding a frequency that will feed many. Perhaps you worry about the past, the bridge you burned, the call you missed, the year you drifted in an eddy. Here's what we do with regret. We compost it. You do not throw it away. You ask it to feed the next season. Regret is nitrogen for courage. Mix it into the soil with gratitude, and watch how quickly new growth greens the places you thought were permanently brown. Some nights you will feel empty, a sacred hollowness like the inside of a bell. Those are not failures. Those are invitations to be filled. Ring. Call the new reality by its real name. Do not say, I need. Say, I welcome. Do not say, I fear. Say, I acknowledge and proceed. Do not say, if only. Say, even now. Even now the builder is awake. Even now the city inside you is drafting new streets. Even now the future has its hand on your shoulder saying, this way. As manifestation accelerates, resist the urge to dramatize. Drama wastes fuel. Celebrate plainly and keep moving. When the apartment key is in your hand, bless the landlord and set up the table. When the test results say clear, write a thank you letter to your body and cook something bright. When the revenue jumps, Pay your future self first and build safety as a gift to your nervous system. Stabilize the when. Make it normal. Normal is what repeats. And when loss visits, as it does to all homes where love has lived, practice the highest alchemy. Transform absence into assignment. What would the one you miss ask you to build with the time you still have? Build that. Put their name on the beam inside the wall where only you will know it's there. You are not replacing, you are redeeming. Your subconscious understands ritual. Let it help you heal by giving meaning a body. A word on destiny. Destiny is not a straight line drawn by a stern hand. It is a choreography between your consent and a benevolence older than fog. You choose steps, and life supplies music. When you misstep, the song finds you again. When you freeze, the rhythm keeps tapping your ankle. You cannot be too late for what is yours. You can only be unpracticed. Practice. The floor is forgiving. This is the moment to widen the circle. Your assumption is not just a private luxury. It is a public service. A composed person steadies a room. A healed person shortens the line at the clinic. A prosperous person funds 1,000 smaller destinies. Let the harvest spill. Mentor without performing. Give without shrinking. Be generous with your story, not because it flatters you, but because it frees someone who needed permission to begin. Now, return with me to the door we promised at the start. Do you hear it? The hinge that sounded like iron now moves like velvet. Step through. The air is familiar because it is yours. Look around. That desk where you write wearing the exact piece you visualized. That partner whose laughter fits the shape of your days. That account balance that feels like safety instead of anxiety. That mirror that reflects a face you bless. None of this fell from the sky. All of it rose from within. The builder kept building as you kept believing. In the quiet center of this room stands a table with two objects, a compass and a cup. The compass is your sentence, the one you have been speaking until it changed the climate. Keep it. Tuck it into your jacket and do not lend it out. The cup is your gratitude. Fill it every morning, every evening, especially on the days that look ordinary. Ordinary is where destiny prefers to hide its gold. What remains is the simplest instruction of all. Keep the temperature. When you are tempted to check the oven every 5 minutes, laugh softly and walk away. When you are tempted to argue with a fact, bless it and speak the higher fact. When you are tempted to dramatize, make tea instead. Your steadiness is not ignoring life, it is leading it. You may feel a hum behind your ribs right now, a gentle pressure like a hand between your shoulders. That is the promise we hinted at, the realization that the power you sought was never elsewhere. The secret is not in a guru or a mountain or a lottery ticket. It is in your willingness to choose a sentence, feel it as real, act as if it were law, and let time do its precise and patient work. This is not a one-time epiphany. It is a style of living. It is how you will carry yourself into rooms that used to scare you, and how you will leave those rooms better than you found them. Before we close, hear this final invitation. Not an interruption, but a continuation. If this journey lit something brave in you, step deeper into practice, community, and precision. Become a member of this channel and unlock the vault of exclusive materials, guided night vigils, advanced assumption drills, prosperity sequences, healing liturgies, and live sessions where we refine your sentence until it sings. Not because you need more content, but because you deserve more structure for the life you are building. Join us, not as a spectator, but as a maker among makers. Now breathe. The city you carry has new streets. The flag above its towers is bright. The builder is on shift. The train is moving through the night. And the morning it delivers will have your fingerprints on every door. Walk into it like someone arriving on time. Because you are. Because you always were. Because at last you remembered.